Lab safety is super important when you're doing science. You have to take necessary precautions so that you don't end up blind, paralyzed, or anything else along that line. When you're doing a lab, you have to make sure to follow instructions. Following instructions isn't really something us humans want to do, but if you want to leave with a good grade and all of your body parts, lab instructions can be pretty critical and should be taken very seriously. Another important rule of lab safety is no horseplaying in the lab. As humans, horseplaying is kind of in our blood, but the lab isn't really the place to do it. It can break beakers, flasks, graduated cylinders, or any other of that kind of stuff. So don't horseplay, or else. Another rule is no eating, drinking, or chewing gum in the lab. It's distracting and you can hurt others and yourself by doing it. Also, you can spill in the experiment and probably ruin your grade. If you're working in a lab, then just do yourself a favor and wear a pair of goggles. Remember Carol from this picture? She never wore goggles, now she doesn't need them. Goggles will protect your eyes and eyebrows and really look cool.
Speaking of cool, I wouldn't look as cool while shooting this here potato gun without my goggles on.
A neat work area is incredibly important. If you don't have a neat work area, you look dumb and people will make fun of you. You can count on this. You also might mess up an experiment and therefore get a bad grade on a lab. And finally, the last lab safety technique that we will cover in this video is wafting. Wafting occurs when you stick your face up to some chemicals and you pretend to scrape the smell into your nose. It's a lot safer than just plain old smelling stuff because there are some dangerous chemicals and they can harm your nose. Now let's review some techniques that we learned for lab safety in this video. Number 1. Always follow instructions. Number 2. No horseplay in the lab. Number 3. No eating, drinking, or chewing gum in the lab. Number 4. Always wear goggles in the lab. Number 5. Always have a neat work area. And number 6. Waft chemicals instead of sniffing them.